Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're going to be entering the world of emotional intelligence, and I'm going to be talking about aggressive versus passive-aggressive. Aggressive is way more direct. When someone is upset with you, let's say they're raising their voice at you, they're reprimanding you in front of others, that is aggressive. On the other hand, passive-aggressive is when it's difficult to tell whether or not the person is being mean. Let's say silent treatments. Silent treatments are when we withhold conversation in order to make a point. With silent treatments, it's way more passive-aggressive because it's not hostile, at least up front that is. And within the past couple of years, my perspective in regards to aggressive versus passive-aggressive has evolved. Before, I had a very simple philosophy in regards to it. I used to say passive-aggressive people are way more dangerous than aggressive people because with aggressive people, at least they make their position known. With passive-aggressive people, you don't quite know. And for a long time, this line of thinking worked with me. But as of late, I have come to understand why being passive-aggressive every now and then does lead to results, especially when we're working with someone long-term. I'll give you an example. There's this one assistant that I work with who used to be very reliable. But as of late, he's been very unreliable, and it's a weird position because to fire him and to find someone new would be very time consuming. Sure, I can do it, but it's still time consuming. And let's say during that stage of my life, I'm very busy. Hiring someone is just a distraction. So I really want this assistant to figure it out. Now, if I'm aggressive with him and I yell at him, right? This may be off-putting because it's going to jar him, and the likelihood of him just being like, all right, you know what, find someone else, is astronomical. People hate to get yelled at like that, especially with someone that they've been working together with a long time. Sometimes when the rapport is there, yelling is fine because they'll just be like, oh, that's just Sam being Sam. But this is a guy that I don't know like that. I work with him, but we don't have that much rapport in a personal sense. So whenever we yell at someone, it could either be perceived as professional or it could be perceived as personal. And I just don't want to take that risk. So I'm thinking for the passive-aggressive route. At this point, mind you, I've told him many times, bro, I need this in today. Dude, you're being very delayed. Bro, you're being very delayed. Please return this project in today. Nothing's working. So eventually I'm like, you know what? Screw this guy. I'm not going to have him waste my time anymore. I'm going to give you the silent treatment, my friend. And that's exactly what I did. For the next 3 weeks, I did not talk to him. As a matter of fact, I decided that this particular project that he was working on could wait. It wasn't urgent. I wanted it done before 2023, but it could wait. I need to make a point right now. So I stopped responding back to him for 3 weeks. 1 week in, he's messaging me, right? And he's not getting any responses back. He hits me up on Instagram. No messages back. He hits me up on my Gmail account. No messages back. This guy's thinking, wait a minute, WhatsApp, Instagram, Gmail, Armani's not responding back? He always responds back. What's going on? 2 weeks passes on by. No responses. 3 weeks passes on by. At this point, I believe I have injected some urgency within this guy. I think I planted some thoughts of, hey, buddy, your job is not secure. You can be replaced at any moment. And I believe within those 3 weeks, he was starting to think, wait a minute, Armani must have found someone else. Because if I was in Armani's shoes, I may have done the same thing. I don't know if he had the foresight to think like that, but all he knew was I I wasn't responding back for 3 weeks. By the time the 3 weeks were up, I finally messaged him back. And this time, there was urgency in him. He understood that he was replaceable, and he started to do the project in a responsible manner. So this was a situation where passive aggressiveness did work. And I realized that with passive aggressive attitude, it's easier to come back. Where when we're yelling at someone and we're being very aggressive with them, it's very difficult to come back. We may be able to, but I'm not trying to say we should be passive aggressive. I'm just saying that nowadays I see some role for it, where sometimes our words aren't working and yelling is not really an option. So that's when we unleash the passive aggressive move. And mind you, passive aggressive is dangerous because the other person may never pick up the clue, right? With the silent treatment, for example, they may never know, like, oh, okay, I guess this person's just being quiet. They may never pick up that something is actually wrong. And another thing about passive aggressive behavior is that the person executing this needs to have somewhat of an abundance mentality in regards to the situation. Because if I was not responding back to this guy for 3 weeks, in the back of my mind, I had to understand that even if he was going to quit, I was going to find someone else. The person that does the silent treatment, they have the abundance mentality of, I get to withdraw conversation material because I know that this person is going to come back. And if they don't, there's going to be someone else like them. So the person that executes the passive aggressive move needs to have some sort of abundance mindset in regards to the situation. My mind has only shifted where I said passive aggressive is only bad. But I believe if you run a business and you're interacting with someone for a long time, you will be alarmed to see how fast people lose motivation nowadays. How many people just want a paycheck. They have no passion, no professionalism, no craftsmanship. You'll be shocked, especially if you have to hire and fire people yourself. You will see exactly what I'm speaking about. And if you understand exactly what I'm speaking about, then every now and then the passive aggressive behavior of silent treatments, subtle sneak questions, and a tone, an eye roll, something like that drives the point home without it being aggressive and without us having to yell. So hopefully you learned a thing or two from today's talk. And if you didn't, whatever, like this video anyways, and thank you very much for joining me.